In Geometry Dash, extremely skilled players always prove to destroy the limits of what was once thought to be impossible. This goes from beating Silent Clubstep to beating the entire top 75 hardest demons. But let's focus on things in the game that are so hard or unlikely to happen that none of these extremely skilled players would even bother to let alone try it. These borderline impossible things will get more and more unrealistic the further we get into the video. So be sure to watch until the end, since stuff will get really crazy there. Enjoy the video. To start off simple, let's take a look at the thing that seems pretty simple to do, but in reality is basically impossible. There are 349 icons in Geometry Dash as of right now, and for many, the hardest out of all these icons is this UFO right here, which you can obtain by making a rated level. However, this being the hardest icon to obtain is not true at all. There are 7 icons that are technically way harder to get, and these are the icons I'm talking about. If you check your icons right now, I guarantee you don't have them unlocked, and this is due to a very simple reason. There are 3 other versions of Geometry Dash: GD World, GD Sub-Zero and GD Meltdown. In the Meltdown version there are different main levels, and beating these in a certain way will get you the 7 infamous icons. However, since you don't have these main levels in the actual version of GD, they are as of right now impossible to get. This probably will be fixed in the 2.2 update though, and there are ways to get these icons with hacks, so let's step up our game. As everyone knows, demons are the hardest sort of levels in the game. Some of them are so hard that they take years to beat, and some are extremely easy. But there's one tiny fact about these easier demon levels. ROULETTE isn't able to properly change the difficulty when wanting to switch a demon level to an easier difficulty. He however still made this happen with 2 levels. It happened with the levels Smetana and Luster, which led to some questionable things that happened. The rate of this happening though is extremely low and only happens once in 1643 days, so this might not even happen again. Object heavy levels. I talked about object amounts a lot before, since it is just so interesting to talk about. But instead of talking about levels with a lot of objects in them like corn or something else, I'll focus on something different this time. Recently, 3 unique levels have been made. One called Rowing by Puck with 49 objects which got rated, and one lesser known level by Flash that has been getting some attention lately. This level only has 39 objects, but one level shatters that amount big time. 29 by XXIX comes into play right here, with just 29 objects in it, and it seems hard to think that this amount will ever be crossed. Still, the stuff I talked about so far all seem decently reasonable to happen, so this is where I cross the line. It is time to talk about things that will probably never happen in a million years. You sitting on your chair have probably beaten a couple of levels that rewarded you stars. These are called rated levels. However, is there any possibility of a single person beating all rated levels in total? You might immediately say no, but there once was a person that got really close to achieving this. In the early years of the game, a player named PissMC had beaten every rated level in the game, except for one level that just was a little out of his skill range. This level was named Demon World, the one level he was not able to beat. Nowadays there are way more levels and the time it would take is even more insane. To beat all the 31,303 rated levels with the perfect RNG, you would still need to spend at least 29 full days to get all stars, which obviously is impossible to do. But if on average you would spend 100 attempts on a level, this would only take 7.94 years. There is something though that is even harder to do, and that is beating this simple level right here. You immediately can notice a lot of stuff out of the ordinary, like the icons being distorted, the decoration being messy, and most importantly the percentage bar being stuck at 99%, which is known to be the X position bug. Because of this, the level which resembles blast processing is instead of being just 2 minutes long, 405 minutes long, which makes it insanely hard to beat, since you need to complete blast processing 2200 times in a row. This certainly would be in the top of the hardest demons in the game, but there's one level that is so hard, nobody even tried to attempt this level, let alone beat it in practice mode. This level is named Maze of Justice, based on the famous extreme demon Blade of Justice, but way harder. So hard that when it would get verified, it would dethrone Slaughterhouse by miles. When looking at it normally, it seems like a hard but doable level, but when selecting the level in the editor, you realize that this is not the case whatsoever. Due to the insane amount of frame perfects in it and almost unplayable gameplay, not a single person has beaten this in practice mode yet, which is why it is considered impossible by some, but who knows what might happen in the future. Alright, all levels are numbered with an ID. This stands for the order of the level, and right now there are around 80 million levels uploaded. But is there a chance that we will once reach 1 billion levels, and when will this happen? Well, I calculated it. Between 2021 and 2022, exactly 10,595,015 levels were uploaded, which we can round off to 10 million. This means that at this rate it will take a little less than 2 years to reach the 100 millionth ID, and 92 years for a person to get the 1 billionth ID, which for sure would go down to be one of the greatest achievements in the GD history. At the time that this might happen though, the game has probably died out, which is why this is so unlikely to happen. Recently, a level had been uploaded that brought mixed feelings to the Geometry Dash community. The new hardest auto level that had ever been created. You might wonder how an auto level can be hard, and it's a little complicated. The name of the level is Lucky Draw, and there is a 1 in 7.5 million chance of beating this level in one attempt. To explain how this works in layman's terms, there are exactly 19 shake triggers in the level, and for each shake trigger there is a 50% chance it moves up or down. If it goes down, it could toggle something that makes you die, and if it goes up, it could let you live, and this is totally RNG based. By doing this 19 times together with the thing that kills you 93% of the time, the 7.5 million chance occurs. And seeing this being completed in just one attempt will almost guaranteed never happen. Before I talk about something so unlikely to happen that you have to rewatch that part of the video to understand it, let me talk about this one first. There are huge numbers in GD, and I talk a lot about them as you might know. To all these numbers however, there often is a capacity. A limit called the 32-bit integer limit makes it impossible for numbers in GD to go higher than this number right here. It will just go negative or something weird will happen with the number, so I wondered if this was ever going to happen with the jump count. You see, you can actually get thousands of jumps really quickly with a certain jump setup. The most jumps I've ever seen someone get in total is a little bit less than 900 million, which is 1/3 of the eventual end goal. He jumped for more than 700 full hours to reach this, which is more than my playtime, so I really wonder if anyone has gotten even remotely close to this number, and if the end goal eventually will be reached. And now, the final thing I'm about to cover. There always has been a skill difference between the community. Some players have the raw talent to beat the hardest extreme demons, and some people have to grind years to beat just a single one. Among the best of these players, there is a challenge that even they struggle with. The Extreme Demon Roulette. This is a challenge where you need to die at a random top 150 Extreme Demon from 1% to 100%, eventually completing it. The only person who completed it so far was Empesta, but there's one thing about this challenge that breaks the laws of the universe. What if you would get the perfect speedrun roulette to beat this challenge as fast as possible, with the latest level obviously being the shortest level? Well, the chance of that happening is this number right here. This is so small that I will give $1,000 to the player who achieves this. It doesn't even matter if you keep resetting it and not even do the challenge. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe leave a like or subscribe.
Goodbye.